Hi guys, Troy from Australian Guitar Channel here, and a lesson today for Rush You by the Baby Animals. This is an awesome, great little guitar riff from their first album, a band that I loved back in the early 90s. I've also done a lesson for Early Warning, which I did earlier this year. I'll put a link for that song at the end of this video. This is a real Led Zeppelin rock-inspired kind of riff. Incidentally, I've also used my new FM3 effects, my fractal FM3 effects modeler to make this video, so I hope you enjoy the sound that it produces. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to start off on this song with the E power chord, which is up on the, what do we got there, 7th fret. Alright, my guitar is tuned down to E flat. Alright, so if you're not sure, E flat, B flat, G flat, D flat, A flat, and E flat down the bottom there. Alright? So, okay, so we start off holding that E power chord, and then we go into the riff, which is like this. All right, so we're just playing the A power chord on then off. And just before it, we're hitting that open A string. And then we do this. There's two ways of doing this. Let's do it on the open D string. We go open D, E flat to E. And then we hit the open G string twice. And then we do this. 3rd fret on the A to open, alright? Okay, so I'll do that riff again. Now I'm also hearing in that opening riff, I'm just hearing a bit of this. Sometimes instead of just going straight to the open string before the riff, we're going, which is just 3, 4, 5 on the E string. Alright, after doing that a few times, we go into the main riff, which is like this. Alright. So we've got A to an open middle 2 strings on the D and G, to a C power chord on the 5th fret, and then we're going to do a little pull off of the middle 2 strings, D and G, 7th to the 5th. Alright? And then we go to those open D and G strings. Alright, and the second little part of the riff is like this. So it goes A, open, G, back to the A, up to the D, which is the power chord on the 5th fret. And then we do another little pull off 7th to 5th again, with that open, with those open middle 2 strings, alright? And then we go into this last little string of notes before the verse. Alright, which is 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th on the A string. Now he does this a few times. I'll do it once. One thing that I hear Dave Leslie doing is picking with his second finger that D string as well as playing those 4 notes. So it's like I'll slow it down, turn it down a bit. Alright, doing that kind of thing where we're hitting that A. And I'm also hearing later on in the song it actually does it. It turns the rhythm round and it does it like this, where it actually hits that A note first, 7th fret on the D string. Alright, so bear that in mind when you hear it later in the song. Alright, then we go into the verse, which is like this, just playing an A power chord. All right, now a couple of ways of doing that. I just then played it on 5th and the 7th of the D string. Okay, a couple of pull-offs and hammer-ons and pull-offs. And then it goes to the 4th and the 5th on the same string. And the other way of doing that is just, of course, doing it on the open G string. Open to 2nd fret on that G. All right, so after we've done that little picking thing, there's a little break. And then it goes to an E flat power chord, which is on the 6th and 7th frets there on those 2 strings. And it goes just back into that picking, back into that muted pick of the A power chord. And then we go into the chorus. Okay, and just before it goes into the chorus, we have this. Would never wanna, and an E power chord on the 7th fret. I would never wanna rest. And then we go into the chorus. And the chorus is like this. A to a C, E, C, D, all right, all power chords. A, C, E. All right, and that's basically the chorus, all there is to it. And then it just goes into another verse, all right, which we've already done. Second verse, same as the first verse. Now, incidentally, during that chorus, I'm hearing a second guitar just do this. Okay, 5th fret on the B and E strings. All right, at the end of the chorus, it also goes, but I love you. All right. Okay, and then second chorus, it holds that D. All right, now after that second chorus, it just goes back into that opening riff where it's... All right, now there's also, after that intro riff, it also does the other riff. And then it does that little riff that I spoke of before where it turns it round. And then we have G to A. And it lets that A ring out right now. All right, now the first little guitar picking bit we can hear from Dave Leslie is part of a D chord, but you're going to take the second finger off, and we're going to hit the E, B string with the finger on the 3rd fret on the B, open G, and then finger on with the G. All right, so it's going to be... All right, that's that little sustained chord that you hear ringing out in the background. Next little bit I'm hearing is again that D chord. So it's just D hitting the D and G strings, but with the second finger on that, first finger on the 2nd fret. Okay, those 3 notes, power chord of the D chord. Open to power chord on D, open G, A. All right, and does that a couple of times in this little breakdown bit. All right, then at the end of that whole little breakdown bit is just kind of got A in the bass with those little licks over the top. And then it goes when it says money over matter for the rich and minx. Money over matter for the rich and minx. C power chord, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 on the B, all right? And then we go into another chorus. All right, so it just ends off with that chorus of I don't want to lose you, I never force you, but I love you. And just resonates, rings out on that D before the very final chord. All right, and the very last chord that kind of rings out at the end there. I love you. It's just the D chord. And you'll notice there's a kind of a feedback or an upper harmonic that's ringing out. Usually just get that by having a really heavily distorted sound, and you kind of might hold the end of the headstock up to the guitar amp like that to let that ring out like that. But you really need to have it cranked up nice and loud to get that feedback sound ringing out. And then the end of the song ends on the A like this. And that is the end of the song. All right? All right, guys. I hope that was a good lesson. And I really hope you like the sound too from my new little processor. Let me know what you think. And also subscribe if you haven't already. And check out my Patreon page if you want to support me. All right. See you soon.